So we have one thing left to do in our attack pattern videos here, and that's this. Right now, all these enemies I created don't attack me. So I'm going to show you an easy way to make the attack happen, and at the same time, make this whole score field work with these other enemies. So first I'm just going to open up the enemy class here. Here it is. And inside the enemy class, we have this kill enemy method, and it's great because it does two things. Number one, it checks to see if the enemy is hitting the spaceship. Number two, it keeps track of the score. And the third thing that it does is spawn my boss. So we're going to use all of these items that we've already coded in our other classes. And sure, I could copy this code into my other enemy classes. It's not going to quite work though. So instead we're going to do something called inheritance. And we're going to do that by making subclasses. So what I want is my enemy 2 here. It's currently a subclass of actor, but I want it to be a subclass of enemy. I'm going to go ahead and click compile, and you can see now that my enemy 2 is a subclass of enemy. And what does that do? That means all of the code that I've typed in enemy gets inherited to enemy 2. Now you can see there's a problem with my enemy 2 class, but we're going to fix it. The main problem is the constructor is wrong. It doesn't match the one in enemy. So enemy takes in this score field, and enemy 2 is going to do that as well. Now what I want to do, once enemy 2 gets this score field, I want to send it back up to enemy 1. And I do that with a call to super. Super calls a superclass, which is a class 1 up the inheritance hierarchy. So enemies 1 up from enemy 2. Now 1 up from enemy is actor, so call a super would be a call to actor there. But here we're just talking about the enemy class. So we are going to add the score field in the constructor and then send score field, just score field, up to my enemy class. So what does that do? It takes in a score field and it sends it right into enemy. And that's great because the score field in my enemy class is the thing that keeps track of the score. So I've taken the score field and sent it to where the score needs to be kept. Now I did talk about, hey, I need this kill enemy method, but all I have to do is on the last line of my act method type kill enemy. Because I told you, because of this inheritance here, enemy 2 is an enemy, it inherits all of the methods. So all I have to do is run the method, and it's going to work perfectly for me in this situation. I have to do one more thing. When the object is constructed, I have an error here now in the world class because I never sent the score field into the enemy class. And let me do that quickly here. So I'm going to copy and paste that in there. And now, let's see, enemy 2 is my UFO. If I run into the enemy, the UFO, it kills me now. These other two don't kill me. And also I can shoot the enemy 2 object. Right now I can't shoot these other enemies. So I'll take you through the process again just to fix those other 2 classes. It's the same process. So I'm going to go to enemy 3. I'm going to update the constructor to take a score object and call it score field. And then the first line of my constructor has to be a call to super. and I'm going to send it score field. Now I forgot to do the one thing where it's enemy 3 extends enemy. I'm going to compile that, and you'll see that enemy 3 is now a subclass. We'll do the same thing with enemy 4. So enemy 4 extends enemy, and I'm going to send it the score field and make a call to my super constructor. I'm going to compile that, and you can see all of my enemies are subclasses of this main enemy class now. Now I do have to go back to my space world. There's an error here, so basically my score field needs to be sent in to each of those classes. Now, if I run this, I can shoot each of the enemies. Oh, they can all hit me. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to do something. I'll show you. They can all hit me right now. But I forgot in enemy 3, the last line of act should be kill enemy. I forgot to run the method. And in enemy 4, it's the same line of code on the last line of act. So let me go to enemy 4, go to my act method, and on the last line, put the kill enemy there. Now, let me run it, and I should be able to shoot any of the enemies. And yes, they are all shooting, and they are all making me die there. So that's it with the enemy attack pattern videos. Good luck, and call me over if you have any questions.